Triathletes are the greatest athletes of any sport that is played. However, there are those who will strongly disagree. Those in dissent will present the argument that because there is no impact or contact in triathlons, it is not considered a real sport. Others will say because there is no skill involved in triathlons, that it is also not a real sport. And lastly, others will say because these athletes couldn't make it in real sports, they decided to be triathletes. Those who make this argument do not have factual knowledge about the sport and its difficulty. In response to the first argument, that there's no impact or contact in triathlons, such as you see in football, hockey, soccer, don't truly understand how much impact and contact there truly is in triathlons. Consider this. Triathlons contain punching, kicking, bumping, and falling. Perhaps now I have your attention. The race starts with a swim. As a great number of athletes enter the water, they experience kicks to the face, punches, pulling off of the goggles, and pulled under by their competitors. This is it within the first minutes of the triathlon. On to the next stage of the triathlon, the bike, where you see some of the worst crashes out of any sport. For example, Lucas Verbicas is a true testimony to the fact. He endured a very severe crash that resulted in a broken thorax, 2 broken vertebrae, a broken clavicle, and a collapsed lung. This is enough evidence to provide you to realize that there is impact and contact in the sport. And considering violence nowadays, they seem to define sports. To the other argument that there is no skill in triathlons, what people don't realize is that the skill is hidden, such as in the swim. Triathletes are required to be able to swim by stretching out their strokes, becoming accustomed to a certain breathing technique to allow them to have more oxygen to their muscles, all while trying to maintain as much energy as possible. Next is the bike. Triathletes are supposed to understand and manage the technical difficulty of gearing. How to use the gear to give as much effort as possible while also conserving as much energy as possible before their final task, the run, which requires athletes to keep their chest and upper body upright, keep their hips under them to maintain proper propulsion in the run, and if an athlete leans forward, you can consider that athlete spent. Their energy is gone and they have no chance to continue on. Lastly, the argument presented that these athletes couldn't make it in real sports. Yes, there is some truth to that. Many of these athletes were in higher levels of sports but just couldn't get into the top ranks. But what people don't know is that these athletes can compete at the elite level in all 3 of the main events of the triathlon: the swim, bike, and run. For example, Alistair Brownlee, the 2012 Olympic gold medalist in the triathlon, finished his last leg of his race, the run, in a time of 29:07, only 90 seconds behind the gold medal winning run by Mo Farah to win the gold medal in the 10,000 meters. This time that Alistair Brownlee ran would have gotten him into the Olympic final and would have got him second to last in the race. Next, many of these triathletes in the swim were 2 minutes behind the world record, which was a time of 14:31. And that is quite a feat considering they have 2 more legs of the race to run. And what you need to understand is that these triathletes can perform at any level or the elite level in any of the 3 difficulties that are involved in triathlon. Lastly, these triathlete warriors are some of the greatest athletes ever to walk the planet. They're training at the elite level in all 3 sports: swim, bike, run. And that to me single-handedly proves they are what I consider some of the greatest athletes ever. So next time you happen to come across a triathlon race on TV or the Olympics, which is extremely rare, sit down and watch and be amazed about how amazingly gifted these athletes really are.